and they're crying, they're screaming. And I have to hold them and tell them everything's all right, that their mom's in heaven. And they ask, when can they talk to her? And I say, we'll talk to her when we pray.
Now the focus is on the children, 1, 4, and 6 years old, who witnessed their mother's killing at close range. Snowden's mother says her daughter left her ex about 1.5 years ago and married a wonderful man. A neighbor grabbed the kids immediately after the shooting.
I want to thank the person who took them out of the car and took them to safety. I want to thank that person, because it could have been them. They were right there.
On December 26, 2025, in Upper Darby Township, Pennsylvania, a custody exchange turned into a tragedy that left 3 young children without their mother. This is the story of Shantel Snowden and what happened during a moment that was never supposed to end in violence. Shantel Snowden was 34 years old. She was a mother of 3 small children, just 1, 4, and 6 years old. According to her family, being a mother was the most important thing in her life. Everything she did revolved around her children. She made choices based on what was best for them, how to keep them safe, and how to give them a good life. Her mother described Shantel as an excellent mother, the kind who put her children first no matter what. People who knew Shantel said she was gentle, kind, and hardworking. She was deeply faithful and cared about helping others. She was the type of person who showed love through her actions, through being present, and through making sure the people she cared about were taken care of. To her family, she was not just a mother, but a daughter, a sister, and someone whose presence brought comfort. Like many people, Shantel had been through her share of difficult times. Her previous relationship with her ex-boyfriend, with whom she shared 2 children, was filled with tension and emotional ups and downs. According to her mother, the relationship was not physically abusive, but it was unstable. When he got angry, it would turn into sudden outbursts of yelling and harsh words. His anger was unpredictable, and once he was upset, there was no way to calm him down. Over time, Shantel realized she could not continue living that way. She moved on with her life and later married a man her family described as kind and supportive. They said he loved her and cared about her children. For the first time in a long while, Shantel seemed to be building a calm and stable life for herself and her kids. After the relationship ended, Shantel and her ex-boyfriend were still connected because of the 2 children they share. A custody arrangement was in place, which meant they still had to communicate and meet when it was time to exchange the kids. That custody arrangement is what brought them together again on December 26th. Shantel's ex-boyfriend had the children with him for Christmas, and once the holiday visit ended, she went to pick them up. The children were buckled into the back seat, and Shantel was sitting in the driver's seat, ready to go when her ex-boyfriend got into the car because he wanted to talk to her. As they talked, the conversation turned into an argument, and police say the situation escalated. Investigators say the man then pulled out a gun and shot Shantel before turning the gun on himself. The children were still sitting in the back seat and witnessed what happened. The sound of gunfire caught the attention of people nearby. A neighbor ran toward the car and quickly removed the children, taking them away from the scene and bringing them to safety. Police were called to the scene shortly after. When officers arrived, they found Shantel sitting in the driver's seat of her car with a gunshot wound. Emergency responders tried to help her, but she was pronounced dead at the scene. Police also found her ex-boyfriend nearby with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was in critical condition. He was taken to the hospital and placed on life support. Days later, he died after he was removed from life support. Investigators said the children were not physically hurt, but they witnessed the shooting. They were placed with family members.
Right now, we're at the corner of Locust and Copley in Upper Darby. Behind me, a far different scene. You can see it's really quiet here right now. This was blocked off, loaded with all sorts of investigators. They have since gone. They have towed away a vehicle that was at the center of this investigation. We do have some video we want to go to right now. This is when we first arrived on scene. We had a chance to talk to police. Here's what they're telling us. Around 12:10 or so, there was some sort of child custody swap out here. The 3 kids were with the father here at a house near this intersection. The mom comes here. She's 34 years old, to pick up the three kids. The three kids then get into the back seat of the SUV. Mom is in the driver's seat. The 45-year-old father gets inside the passenger seat. Once again, mom and dad are not together. There's some sort of argument inside the car, and that's when police say the father takes out a gun, shoots and kills that 34-year-old mother inside the vehicle. He then turns the gun on himself.
Shantel's mother said she loved her children deeply and worked hard to give them a good life. She said Shantel left her ex-boyfriend because the relationship no longer felt safe or healthy. According to her family, there were no signs that this custody exchange would turn deadly. It was supposed to be a normal pickup, nothing more. Upper Darby police have said the incident appears to be isolated and that there is no ongoing threat to the community. They have not released the ex-boyfriend's name or details about any prior court orders. The investigation is ongoing, but for Shantel's family, the focus is no longer on legal details. It is on healing, survival, and caring for three children who now have to grow up without their mother. As news of Shantel's death spread, people reacted quickly online. Social media is filled with messages of shock, sadness, and disbelief that a mother could be killed during something as routine as a custody exchange. Many comments focused on Shantel's children, with people expressing heartbreak that three young kids had to witness such violence and now have to grow up without their mother. Others shared prayers and messages of support for Shantel's mother, recognizing the heavy role she now carries as both a grieving parent and a grandmother caring for traumatized children. Some commenters also spoke about their own experiences with custody exchanges, describing them as emotionally charged and stressful moments that can quickly become overwhelming. There were also signs of frustration and anger online, as people questioned how situations like this are handled and whether more safeguards should exist. While opinions varied, many comments returned to the same point: concern for the children and a desire to help. When a GoFundMe was shared to support Shantel's kids, it spread quickly, as people looked for a way to turn grief into something that could help the family move forward. This case has also brought attention to the risks that can exist during custody exchanges. While most exchanges happen without incident, they can be emotionally charged, especially when there is unresolved conflict or a history of anger. Some parents and advocacy groups have pointed out that these moments are often treated as routine, even when they may carry risk. Conversations continue about how families can be better protected and how safety can be taken more seriously.
She was an excellent mother. She loved her kids. She did everything to make sure their life was as beautiful as possible.
Trying to make sense of the unthinkable. It's been 3 days since Darlene Snowden's daughter tragically lost her life. Investigators say Shantel Snowden's ex, who's the father of two of her daughters, shot and killed the 34-year-old Friday afternoon.
It was always an explosion of anger, just verbally. He never hit her, but he was always unpredictable. The type of person you could never calm down if he got upset.
Shantel Snowden's story is not just about how she died. It is about how she lived and how deeply she loved her children. It is about three young kids who expected to go home with their mom and instead lost her forever. It is about a grandmother trying to be strong while grieving her own child. And it is about a moment that was supposed to be ordinary but became tragic. Behind every headline is a family living with the consequences. Behind every statistic is a child waking up in the night, calling for someone who will never answer again. Shantel's life mattered, her love mattered, and her story deserves to be told with care, honesty, and compassion. Rest in peace, Shantel Snowden.